There's no question about that, really. As I said before, we have a very different agenda. We, as owners, speaking collectively as owners, we have a very different agenda than the Pulte board members do. And we need to remain focused on that and really work toward what's in the best interest of every owner in this community, even under adverse circumstances. And I think I have a lot to offer in that area. Thank you.
Microphone goes to Chuck.
Thank you. One of my roles as an environmental attorney was to handle disputes with property owners and business owners depending on certain situations. For example, an underground storage tank leaks and gasoline gets on a neighboring property, you typically have a heated discussion with somebody, and it may or may not end up in litigation. But regardless of whether it went to litigation, most of these disputes got resolved through negotiation or mediation. And over literally hundreds of these things, I've learned I tend to be fairly level-headed, tend to be fairly objective, but more importantly, I think that the big key I learned is that I'm a good listener. Listening is a skill that not everybody has. You may hear what somebody says, but you're not really paying attention to how they say it, or when they say it, or, quite frankly, what's not being said. And those are the kind of skills I think that the homeowner representatives are going to need in order to really be effective, to understand what's out there and make sure that the transition goes as smoothly as possible. Thank you.
And Paul is next.
Okay. I think my best trait is just getting to the point and having the experience to do so. One of the things a board member has to do is, I can tell you about all my financial experience again, board expertise, board experience, and working with Pulte and HOA representatives. But one of the things you also need to do is get to the point and figure out what's most important. So there might be 15 items on the list, but 2 of them make up 99% of what you really need to be concerned about. I think my training, personal and professional expertise gets me there. And when you talk about access to data, we're going to get access to data as board members that we haven't had before. If you want somebody good to find data and to evaluate it, hire an auditor. So, thank you.
That concludes the question part of the program. We'll start with closing remarks, and Paul's going to kick that off, and then we'll just work our way right back to Rick.
Okay, I've talked a little bit about my GIO experience. A couple things we were able to accomplish. The 2014 budget was the first time that our 2014 budget was compared to the 2013 actual results. So that you could evaluate the budget for 2014 and see how well things were done in 2013. Small victory, but I think an important one. And I was able to work with Jessica in her role as executive director of the HOA to get that done. The other point to make is, just as an example of what I've been a part of, is the golf course is owned by the golf course. The land under the golf course is owned by the golf course operator. Golf course operator has a right, unilateral, solely at their choice, to transfer the property back to Sun City owners, okay, like us. The question was, is there a purchase price attributable to that? There was an agreement, and Pulte claimed that there was a lot of confidential business information in there between they and the golf course operator. They didn't want to show us anything. So I like to think I came up with the idea of saying, all right, show us the version of the agreement, or show us the sections of the agreement that deal with the golf course purchase. That was agreed to by Pulte, and we actually found out that the price on transition was 0. It was nothing. We also had Pulte's attorney confirm in a written representation that everything that we needed to see related to this buyback option we did see. I think I've got a commitment to this community. I spent hundreds of hours as a member of the GIO researching stuff. A lot of times you don't see the auditors because we're in the back room doing something, but I've gone through a lot of data and spent a lot of time with the documents. You know, when I talk about the small victories we had, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of other things that are in process, and there's probably a lot of other issues that we don't know about, you know, in terms of just getting access to data. So I hope you elect me as the board member to solve the problems. And my trusted campaign advisor is making me say this, that if you vote for me, I will stand tall for Sun City. My only other promise is no more tall jokes, I promise.
Thank you. I will, something you probably don't hear often from lawyers, I will keep this very short. One of the oddities of life is today I could walk into a room and forget why I went in there. It's very frustrating. But I vividly remember watching a television show about 40 years ago. It was My Three Sons. And in that show, that particular episode, Ernie was running for student council, and he gave one of the best campaign speeches I have ever heard, and I'd like to borrow that here. Vote for me. Thank you.
I have been told that I'm a man of few words. I try to live by the maximum that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. Also try to avoid situations where a conversation is nothing more than two people bouncing noise off each other. My background has prepared me with the ability to listen well, to gather the facts, and make intelligent and logical decisions that are in the best interest of the community. Can I satisfy everyone? In a word, no. There are too many possible conflicts and difference of opinion. However, I have worked with many groups, and as we come together as a team, we can find ways to make decisions that are in the best interest of the entire community. I believe I have the technical, regulatory, management, and budget experience to be an effective Sun City Carolina Lakes board member. Finally, my personal email is on the Sun City Carolina Lakes website, jpodendahl@gmail.com. Send me any questions. I'll answer the best I can. I'd appreciate your vote, and thank you for your attention today.
I'm told we have 70 applications to work at the front gate for $8 an hour. We had 5 applications for the board. There's a lot of shakers and doers out there. There will be other board elections. Please, get out of your comfort area. We need more participation as candidates. In closing, I want to thank you for attending here. I will do my best if you choose to elect me as one of your board members. I have lived here for 8 years now, and this is the most wonderful place I feel that I've ever lived. But I do encourage you to get active in this and get involved. I'm not a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, or anything. Like most of you, I earned my retirement by working a lot of years for salary. I didn't make fat bonuses. I can represent your interest because I'm one of you. I've been there. I know what you go through. So I'd appreciate it if you would support me in this endeavor and elect me as one of your representatives to our board. Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank the nominating committee, and I think everybody should thank the nominating committee for all the hard work. What I have to offer you are a couple of things. Number one, Paul mentioned the whole GIO thing. I actually put together a group of people that ultimately turned into the GIO. And Paul and I actually worked together on a lot of the stuff that he talked about, including those meetings with Mr. Cherry and Mr. Garcia. What I can really offer you is an in-depth understanding of what goes on in this community, an in-depth understanding of the issues that are going to confront us as we go forward and the board's going to have to deal with, and a professional background that will make it a little bit easier for me to deal with this stuff. No, you certainly don't have to be a lawyer to deal with this stuff, but you have to be analytical, you have to be rational, you got to be able to deal with this stuff as you confront it, and I think I've got the ability to do that. I've been here for less than 3 years, and I think my commitment to serving this place is pretty clear. I spent 2 years as pod rep for Pod T. The highlight of that period was leading an owner-inspired effort to get the Lakeview Trail paved, which was successful. I've worked extensively for the magazine and edited the magazine, and again, the GIO thing. I really want to make this place all it can be. And the fact that we've been locked out of management for 7 years is unfortunate, but this is a new age, and this is an opportunity for us, if we've got advocates on the board, to actually get things done and represent the interests of owners in the best possible way. I would appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, gentlemen. The names again are Rick Kramer, Ben Neely, Jim Odendahl, Chuck Pinzoni, and Paul Perfield. And I want to thank every one of the candidates, our committee members, and our audience for joining us today and getting a chance to know them a little bit better. I really want you to encourage and support our candidates because they're going to be working very hard over the next month to earn your vote at the polls. Just a reminder that there are the 3x5 cards right outside the door on those tables. Fill one out if you have a question, please, and leave it at the table. And we have a good half an hour, 40 minutes. If you want to mingle, talk to the candidates, spend some time with them. If you have questions for any of the committee members, please take time to do that. And the Meet the Candidates Forum is now adjourned. Thank you.